Well, and welcome to Cup of Joe. Got a really good coffee on the show today. Um, my mind is probably going to bounce around a bit on different ideas. I'm actually starting to find that this is probably going to be much easier than I thought. I think the more that I sit down and just talk about coffee and ideas, sort of unstructured or lightly structured, the easier it's going to be, like on a regular basis. Um, Before I get into the coffee, I've got the plant back for today. I realized in the last, is this the third one? Yeah, this is the third one of the year. So last week I forgot the plant. She doesn't usually sit there. She usually sits in the other room. The sill I don't think is very fantastic for the plants, at least right now. A good part of it's because there's a heater right here. Anyways, sidebar. I forgot her last week, but she's back. Still here, doing well. Okay, so the coffee that I have is Port of Mocha. Yemen. 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 I do hope that I can go to Yemen someday and see the people and the culture and the land and the farming and all the good things that are there. I hope that that will be possible someday. In the meantime, I shall enjoy incredible gifts. So this is Port of Mocha's coffee subscription. I will link to it below. This is, like, if you haven't done this, just do it. Like, even if it's just a month, you get a bag that includes, I think it's 5 ounces of coffee. Might be a little bit more, but this bag comes quite full. I've been able to make a good amount of cups of coffee with it for $30. So this is definitely more than you're going to pay for most coffees, but it's more than worth it. Like, it's actually kind of stunning to me, having shared these stories in the magazine, like I Know Mokhtar, and all the work that's gone into this, and all of the work that the people of Yemen go through and the things that they have to deal with, and that this coffee can be had for only $30 is like, I think that they've, like, Porto Mocha's found a way to make it affordable, but still bring the value that they need to bring back to their farmers, and that's awesome. Okay, so this isn't like a coffee review video, but I do have to share this because it's really, really delicious. So Porto Mocha's monthly subscription starts at, I think it starts at $30, and you get a bag a month. They have higher levels if you really love it. So this is January 2019. And I'd like to read this. So 2018 was a truly incredible year for Porto Mocha. We managed to reintroduce Yemeni coffee to some fantastic partners in Asia, the Arabian Gulf, the US, and Europe. We held Yemen's first ever specialty coffee auction, and the book about our founder and CEO, Mokhtar Al-Kanshali, The Monk of Mocha, was released and went on to become a New York Times bestseller. But for us here at Port of Mocha, the project dearest to all of our hearts is this subscription service. We wanted to take a moment this month to thank all of the people who have been with us from the beginning, all of you who joined on somewhere in the middle, and certainly all the newcomers for whom this may be their first bag. In honor of this 12th month of subscriptions, we've done 2 things. First, you'll notice our sleeve this month is all of the photos from the cards of the previous months. So what they usually do, you get a card like this, and it has a photo on it. And the sleeve around the bag this month included all the photos from the previous months. This also, whoop, I threw the thing. On the back is a quote from the book, from the Monk of Mocha. Okay. And 2, we're including a very special coffee, J5. Like, literally, J5. When J5 landed, it blew us all away and went on to be sold to our roasting partners as one of the rarest and most expensive coffees of 2018. We had some left over in our private reserve and have decided to gift it to you. We're confident you'll love it as much as we do. From all of us here, Port of Mokha, from the mountains of Yemen to the streets of Oakland, thank you immensely for being a part of this journey. Thank you all at Port of Mokha for bringing these incredible gifts to everyone. So the lot is named J5, Cultivar Udani, which they label as Ancient Typica. I'll link to other, so I've done 2 or 3 other videos with their coffees, so I'll link to those below, so you can check out like more in-depth review on tasting the coffees. Yemen coffees are natural processed. They don't have much water to work with, so that's the way they do things. Very rich, very dense, very high altitude. The trees have to work a lot to produce their fruit. Really high natural sweetness. Tasting notes on this: raspberry, dark chocolate. It is a dense and rich coffee, like Yemen coffees in general. Really not like anything you can get anywhere else. So you may have noticed if you watched my video on the Mocha Java blend that I commented on how they use an Ethiopian coffee in there. And most people who do that kind of Mocha Java blend use an Ethiopian coffee and not a Yemen, because it's really hard to find good Yemen. This being like one of, or if not the primary source for like the best quality Yemen coffee. And while you can get similar like fruity, sweet, rich coffee from Ethiopia, you can't get the same level of natural sweetness and density that you can in Yemen. And then, of course, the varieties in Yemen are, there are many that are unique there that aren't found anywhere else. So, Porto Mocha, that's what I'm enjoying today. I actually, I made a bunch of, like a list for the show today. And I had one line on Porto Mocha. I didn't think I was going to talk that much about it, but there you go. What I was actually going to bring up was a thing on social media. So maybe I'll ramble a little bit less on that. But I've been having this like kind of internal conflict with social media for a while. I run social media channels for the magazine, for Extracted Magazine. So Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. I even have one on Pinterest still, although I haven't really done much with that in a long time. Some people might consider YouTube one of those, but I don't. And in like recently, in the past couple of years, I've pulled back heavily on how I use those channels. And there's a couple reasons for that. On a high level, I struggle with understanding what the purpose is of me being on there with the business. Like I can come to like a business understanding of why to be on there. And I think if I had a team to execute upon social media, I could actually, like, I have constructed big long-term plans for how I think the business can operate on the social media channels. But it's hard to digest and fathom from my current standpoint, where it's just me. And me personally, I've never been huge on the social media. I mean, I've been on Facebook since the beginning, but it's always been like connect with friends, like share dumb, silly things, and like talk and arrange parties and that kind of thing. Most people, I think, who use like Facebook these days. It's really a share your life kind of thing, which has this really weird social element to it that has never felt right. Um, Maybe it's the inherent narcissism in the whole process of social media that I find troubling. I don't know. But there are two major sort of aspects to social media to reconcile. One is how it is on a personal level. Like, what is it? What is it to the individual in general? Like, how does one use social media personally? Why? What's the point? And then two, business. How does a business use social media? What's the point? Um, I think I think a lot of the problems that I have is that I always, usually when I get on social media personally, it just doesn't make me feel good. It just feels like a, yeah, I even have a hard time like verbalizing like the challenges, but it feels inhuman, which is weird because it's a way to connect. Like one of the things I do love about it is that you can connect with people uh, more in a different ways than you ever could before. But maybe it's because it's all behind a screen, and what you get, and maybe this is the heart of it, what you always get is someone's curated expression of what they want you to see in them, and that maybe that's the heart of what bothers me, like on all levels. Like it's the same with the business. When a business is on social media and posting, what you're seeing is their curated view of how they want you to perceive them, which maybe is not the way they actually are. Maybe that's not how that business actually is. Like, what is the real heart of that business? I think that there are people who authentically approach social media and can express a lot of like good personality and do good things. But then there's also the point of view from the business side of what is the value that I'm bringing to the table, um, which is another contributing factor to the challenges that I've run into. As like with the Extracted magazine, this magazine about coffee, where I bring these stories together of things that are happening in coffee and teach people how to get into specialty coffee more, to learn to enjoy the beauty of like a Yemen coffee and what that means. To be able to sit and have these kind of experiences with coffee. So that's like what I do with the magazine. Where does the social media fit into this? Because from a benefit to the business perspective, it's always easy to find the benefit to the business because everyone is on social media. That is where attention is. Like the attention, everyone is here, and in order to be a business in the modern era, in order to be a business in any era, you need to be where people's attention is, because the process of building and having a business is you get people's attention, you start a connection, you provide and build value, yada yada. I think I talked about this in the one where I rambled on marketing. But so the reason to be on social media as a business is because that's where people's attention is. But how do you do this authentically and bring value in a way that enriches the community instead of just taking from it? And that is a lot of the challenge, because most of the interaction that I have experienced with other people on social media, it's not all call cases. I've had a lot of really good interactions on social media, but I've had a huge amount of interactions on social media, like disproportionately huge, where it's people who are just taking because they want attention, they want um, they want to just take, and that is a hard one to reconcile, So I've been personally trying to figure out, okay, what is my role in this? Like as a business, what do I need to do to be authentically as a business on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram? These are the three major ones right now. There are other avenues that are similar. Um, how do I authentically be on these places where people are living? How can I provide the value and connection that I do in the rest of the business? And um, on a personal level, like what do I do with that as well? What I've done over the years, as I've like learned all the marketing kind of thing, is I've approached the activity on social media as um, even just providing a bit of happiness is valuable and good thing. But like to take Instagram as an example, the coffee sort of um, field on Instagram, there are a lot of accounts that are really active and have built communities around just resharing other people's work, which seems really weird to me. It's effective to a certain point, but um, yeah, I don't know. That doesn't feel right for me, so I can't do that. Um, and then there's a lot of like individuals and communities in coffee who like share really beautiful photography on Instagram. I think that's a great thing. Great imagery. That's like wonderful. But from like the goals that I'm trying to do, the value that I think I can provide in coffee, is it in a beautiful picture? No, I don't think so. There's lots of that out there. Like what is the nice picture that I make any different than all these other nice pictures? And then taking that a step further, what is the nice picture that I make in terms of the work that I do? Like how does that communicate? Um, in the past as well, some of the things that have worked on Facebook, which I've stopped doing. But if you dig back in the channel, you can find a lot of this, these like coffee memes. Um, it's what I did at the beginning. Is I was trying to find my footing and connection with people about coffee. Um, and what I discovered on social media, especially, is there is this layer, this very thick layer, where people like to express um, all of the emotional desire that's wrapped around their interest in coffee, but really has nothing to do with coffee. Um, some good examples being like Monday sucks, but at least I have coffee, and variations on that kind of thing, which I outright don't like to support any kind of negativity towards like the work week. Anyhow, so I stopped doing those kinds of things. I don't. It doesn't feel right. I don't believe in it. Anyways, I'm gonna like just kind of keep rambling on these ideas, so I'm gonna kind of stop myself so I don't do that. But I guess where I've come to in this is I'm in a spot of what what am I supposed to do? Like what am I supposed to do with the social media, with the business? How does that like how does that provide value? And what about me personally? Like should I be doing that kind of thing? I don't know. Um, my my instinctual reaction is that since I don't believe it's authentic to me, that I shouldn't do it, and that's what I'm going to follow. I think as I'm able to grow the business, I'll be able to build a platform where I can extend the value of what I do with the magazine through social media. But before, um, until I can find the right people to do that, it's probably not going to happen because right now it's me. It's me doing the social media for the business, and if I can't authentically like really get into social media personally, how could I do it for the business? I don't know. I'd be really interested to hear what you all think about social media. Is anything that I've said here, does anything I've said resonate with you? Like, what are your experiences on the platforms? How do you approach it? Like, how do you feel about businesses being on the platforms? Because there are, it feels like half of social media is businesses trying to get the other half of social media's attention. And that, whew, that is. That is a tiring beast to try to wrap the mind around. Anyhow, well timed as I'm just about out of my coffee here. Mm. Get some Porto Mocha if you haven't done it, or if you have and it's been a while and you're not subscribed. Go get yourself another month. Just treat yourself. Treat yourself for February. Consider it starting off 2019 with beautifully delicious coffee. Go do it. Go do it. Um, I should also note they didn't give that to me. They have no idea I'm saying any of this. um, Honestly, I think it's a beautiful experience that everyone should have, and super delicious, super delicious. So, thank you so much for watching Spent Cup of Joe. I'll see you in the next one.